shocking news and what happened this week. Listen, it's time to brush up on your Portuguese because Angola, the second largest oil producer country on the African continent, led by His Excellency João Lourenço, have decided to open their doors to Africa and the rest of the world. You can now enter Angola without visa for 90 days as long as you are going there for tourism only. However, before you start making your plans, I'll list the 14 African countries who made it to the team. So please, before you move forward with your plans, listen if your side of the colonial border is cold. L'Algérie, Eswatini, Tanzanie, Malawi, Mauritius, Botswana, Rwanda, le Maroc, Lesotho, Cabo Verde, Seychelles, la Guinée équatoriale, Zimbabwe, and Madagascar. They've also thrown in the mix 11 countries in Asia, 35 in Europe, 16 in the Caribbean, and 4 in America. Angola only requirement for the visa-exempt travelers is that they only go there exclusively for tourism only. Angola has now joined the tight WhatsApp group of countries on the continent who offer visa-free access or visa on arrival to all African citizens. And the group is made of Seychelles, Mozambique, Madagascar, Rwanda, and the better Comoros. And for other type of visas such as work, study, or residence, you will have to apply through proper channels. Mama Kim Pavita and Queen Zinga will be very happy with this news. In June 2020, during its maintenance work, the French authorities seized the Falcon 7X belonging to the President of the Republic of Congo, Denis Sassou Nguesso, in Bordeaux, La France, over a dispute that began in 1992 with a Lebanese businessman. The businessman claims the African country owes him 1.7 billion euros for unpaid public work. And we also come to find out that the businessman used to be close friend with the Congolese president and in the past had won some sweet deals between 1983 to 1986, building bridges here, villages here, and more. The proximity to power. However, something happened in 1986. The prices of oil collapsed, the economic situation in the country deteriorated, and his project went down the drain like a bridge leading to nowhere. Now, on Wednesday, October 4th, the Congolese president's whip was auctioned and sold within seconds for 7.1 billion euros. The auction was a one-horse race. This anonymous buyer has 3 days to clear the bill, but above all, it was a bargain because the jet is estimated to be worth around 20 million euros on the market. This anonymous person have to strip off the livery of the Republic of Congo and maybe disinfect the plane because corruption is extremely contagious. The Kenyan deputy president, speaking on a local radio, told the street that His Excellency President Ruto in his wish list is visualizing $1 billion in a posh Chinese bag. President Ruto's government wants to borrow $1 billion from China to finish infrastructure project started by the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. That money will be used to pay contractors who have abandoned and deserted the sites due to unpaid bills. Kenya already owes more than $8 billion in Chinese loans. It is alleged that President Ruto coalition used to bash the former president for his borrowing habits from China, but it seems like President Ruto has changed his tune. However, to be fair to the man, he inherited this situation, so this project must be finished by any means necessary. Now, according to the deputy president on the radio, President Ruto will also ask China to extend the repayment period for the money that they owed, right? Now, listen to this. According to reports, and I quote, the Kenyan government is spending roughly half of its revenue to repay debts that are falling due. Official data shows straining its finances. The situation has been compounded by foreign debt repayment amid a steep weakening of the Kenyan currency, end quote. On Tuesday, the cabinet cut down 10% of the budget for all ministries, while the president's office generously restricted their foreign trips on the nation's expense. The Kenyan president will be meeting his Chinese counterpart at some point this month, and the Chinese side already know what to expect thanks to the deputy president. Anyways, some people will try to make this about China, but listen, I will not join you on that route. China did not force anybody to jump on these loans, And they did not tell any of our politicians to use these funds as if it was their personal accounts and live lavishly. I have nothing against China because Chinese in Africa are doing what we Africans are allowing them to do. Things that Africans will not be allowed to do in China, we are allowing them to do it. I have nothing against China. If you bite more than you can chew, you might end up choking. The candidate in the 2025 presidential elections, who is also the leader of the main opposition party in Seychelles, is facing witchcraft charges along with 7 other locals. A bizarre case that has rocked the country, and it is linked to 2 dead bodies exhumed from a graveyard on the island of Mahé. The opposition leaders denies the charges and claims it's a ploy by the president to tarnish his reputation and name ahead of the elections. The leader and his co-accused were freed on bail by the court, but according to Seychelles news agencies, in September, a Tanzanian national was arrested at the country's national airport in possession of stones, small bottles containing a brownish liquid, an assortment of powder, and number of documents containing languages and symbols described as satanic. And they also found the opposition leader's name on his phone. Now, I think as a continent, there are things that should be automatically classified as distraction. This is a distraction. Which one between corruption and witchcraft has claimed more lives on our continent? I'm not worried about witchcraft. In fact, I would legalize it. I would liberalize belief systems so that those who do not believe anything can go out there and experiment with the various belief systems and see what works for them. The consumers have to be able to make an informed decisions. If you claim your God is powerful, then why are you worried about what your neighbors, about your neighbors' belief systems? Like Pokemons, we should let these gods fight so we can decide who's really the most powerful. Listen, traveling is already a stressful exercise if you factor in the queuing at the airport, security checks, waiting for your bags, and more. However, it is nothing compared to a police officer at the airport wanting to mess with you, especially when you have just landed in the land of your ancestors. This is what happened to one of Uganda's opposition party leader, Mr. Bobi Wine, who was greeted by 2 security officers as soon as he stepped off the plane at the Entebbe International Airport on October 5th. According to reports, Mr. Bobi Wine's supporters were planning to show up in number and escort him back to his home, but the police had declared such gatherings to be illegal. Therefore, the police themselves decided to take him home. On their official social media page, they denied arresting him. However, the way he was manhandled and treated, you would be forgiven, and I would be forgiven too, to assume he was being arrested based on those footages circulating online. I mean, I have seen so many videos of this man being arrested, brutalized, and manhandled in front of his family, in public, in private, that I ask myself, what is the end goal? Now we are back to the diploma gate. Earlier this week, I made a video regarding the opposition party in Nigeria questioning President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's diploma from Chicago State University. This is the excerpt of what I said based on the information gathered through my sources, which I highlighted in the video. Now, according to the university registrar, Caleb Westberg, the school has the original record of Bola Tinubu, but they could not confirm the authenticity of the document he presented to the election commission, claiming President Tinubu graduated in 1979. Basically, the school has no record of issuing the diploma in question and could not verify the authenticity of the document, as it was not in the university possession. At least we've established he was there. Now, whether he graduated or not, that's another debate. In the debate of whether he graduated or not, it seems to me that he graduated, but I'm still going through the transcript, which can be found on this website. Thanks to those who challenged that video and came through with information. Thank you. If it's your first time interacting with my content, I would like to welcome you and let you know that I have a podcast on YouTube full of non-political stories. You can find it in the podcast sections of the channel. I also have a book of Proverbs which you can access through the link below. Moreover, I create fire content that speaks for itself. Please check out my catalog and thank you for your time.
We, ni nini?